All right, guys, welcome back to another. We'll just call this another episode of our PGA Tour preview show. It's Ryan and Brian. Second episode. We did the PGA Championship for our first one, and welcome in, and we're going to kind of break down our picks from the PGA Championship, kind of how they did, and then we're going to get into this week's champion, this week's tournament, and kind of who we like, what we bet, and all that kind of stuff. So, what's going on? How did the PGA Championship treat you?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was obviously a great tournament. We were talking about it the whole way through, and I think we were so ready for Phil to stumble, and he never did. I know you had the Brooks outright. We had some other outrights that were right there, and they just never materialized. And somehow he held on. So it was an awesome tournament, I thought.
Yeah, no, it was good for golf. I just wish I would have been on the right side of it. But I mean, I don't think many people were. So everyone was just kind of waiting to see if he would stumble, and he didn't. Yeah. And that's why he's one of the top 10 golfers of all time. So, I think you had a profitable week. I was right there. I mean, obviously the Leishman one that we talked about on the show, that one kind of stings. I thought he'd get inside the top 40, and the guy didn't even make the cut. So thought the course I thought it shaped well for him, and I think he went double and then bogey to miss the cut by one. So
yeah,
it happens. I wanted to break down a couple of things that I liked, at least that I kind of had, right, I guess you could say. I mean, I had a couple, Bezuidenhout. I don't know how many people had him. I had him plus 240 to make the top 40, and he was well within that. So I liked that one. Robert McIntyre, he missed top 40 by like one slot. He was another plus, what I have, plus 185. But no, I mean, we had a couple ones. Fitzpatrick top 40, Neiman top 40. That was a close one. Oosthuizen top 40, and obviously he had a chance to win it. So we had a couple that were we're in the mix, and I think the process is going in the right direction. So
yeah, for sure. No, I know we talked through a bunch of different ones on the video last week. I mean, I'd say my probably biggest hit was Hoffman top 40. He was plus 210. So that was a unit bet. I know I talked up Connor's top 40, which had a unit and a half on him at plus 100. That was an easy cash. He was in it the whole way. Stumbled there a little bit, but Keegan Bradley, talked about him, liking him. He came through on top 40. We did have a couple that didn't work out. I mean, Griot had a meltdown there. And then we had some bets heading into the fourth round, or into the final round. So I had taken Fitzpatrick as a top 10, and he was sitting like fifth, fourth, or something like that with a couple holes to play, and just completely blew it.
Triple 17.
Yeah, you sent me that message and said he tripled it. I had stepped away, and I'm like, you're gotta be kidding. So, but we were able to make up for it with Hoffman top 20 alive there heading into the final round. So yeah, it was a great week, and looking forward to this week at Colonial.
Yeah, and one other thing, I ended up obviously they can see them over the spreadsheet. I normally, and this is kind of where we differ as far as like maybe some of the other sites that people might see, like second, third, fourth round matchups. I was able to kind of go in and see where there was some value. And normally the minus 240s, minus 220s, I went ahead and put that in a parlay with another matchup, and was able to get it to like plus money. And I think I was 4-0 on head-to-head matchups, going into, through the weekend. So that kind of saved everything with those head-to-head matchups. So I like that. I'm going to look to that going forward in the second, third, and fourth round matchups. But those kind of saved the weekend a little bit. So, but yeah, Colonial, Charles Schwab, looking to get into it. We already have a bunch of plays posted over on the spreadsheet. You guys will see them. What are some of your outrights, or who do you like outright this week to win?
Yeah, outright wise, I did bet Spieth at plus 1050. I know there's not a whole lot of value there, but just given his past performances at Colonial and his current form, I felt like that probably could have been, I think it was at plus 800, maybe on DraftKings when I bet it on FanDuel. I think DraftKings did come to plus 1050 now. I'm riding Grillo again at plus 7,500. I've got Garcia at 80-1 and then Tringali at 80-1. I only have 4 outrights so far. I didn't really see a whole lot there that I liked. The top's pretty loaded. I think, Morikawa, Berger, Berger's up there. I don't know. I do have a top 20 bet on him, but we can get into those other bets here later. And then first round leader stuff. Again, I have 6 of those. There's some guys that looking at their different first round scoring averages and then the different strokes gains categories that seem to be pretty important this week. So I've got Neiman, Berger, Reed, Kochrack, which I know you like Kochrack this week.
Yep.
Tringali, and then I did bet Brian Harmon at 50-1. He didn't really grade out that great for any other bets. I didn't really see a whole lot of value, but at 50-1, sprinkled a little bit there on him for first round leader.
Yeah, and I mean, before I get into some of my outrights, the first round leader bets, they're lottery tickets. Like we know that, you're not going to hit one. You're not going to hit them very often, but they're fun, and you're throwing 0.15, 0.1 units on them to kind of sweat the first round. But my outrights, I think I'm going to bet Will Zalatoris every single week until he wins. I put that in the notes. I just like the kid. He's a ball striker. This course, I think every course sets up for him just for the most part. So I like him there. I think I got him at 25-1, which is value. Obviously, that's why. I mean, the PGA Championship he was 60-1, and I'm like, well, that's just mispriced. I don't often use that lingo in my just mispriced. I mean, you got one of the top players right now. So yeah, I like him. I have a couple 140-1 shots. Peter Uline, who I'll get into him a little bit later, but very successful on this course in the last few weeks or in the last few years. And so 141, you sprinkle a little bit on that. And then Harry Higgs, first major this last week, T4. So he's coming in hot back into the Texas. He played at golf at SMU, I believe. So, I think he's just looking to ride that. And I got a top 40 bet on him as well. So, but 140-1, I'll sprinkle a little bit on that. And then Jason Kochrack, he's won a couple times or at least once in the last year. I like his game. 47-1, I think, is what I got him at. So I like him a lot. And as far as first round leader bets, I got Justin Rose, who he's been the first round leader in this tournament before. I believe I got him at 45-1. Grillo, I got him at 50-1. And Ryan Palmer at 60-1, who is a member at this golf course. So I think he knows it well. And then Brian Harmon, who is one of the leaders in first round scoring on the PGA Tour. So again, I got him at 50-1 as well. So who are you liking? We don't want to go over our whole card because that's where the people, they go to our site and they actually look at it. So maybe a couple more bets that you like this week, maybe top 20, top 40, whatever you got. And then we'll just kind of, I'll give a couple more. We'll just wrap it up and they can go look at our full cards on the spreadsheet.
Yeah, I'll kind of focus on the longer odds and just some reasoning there on that. So I've got Tringali top 20. So he grades out top 20 in the metrics that I had pulled, and we'll call it a model. It's just weighted metrics. He's plus strokes gained in all categories, and his average finish this year is in the top 40. And then something else, he's 7th in the birdie to bogey ratio. So that's a good metric to look at. So I have a half unit on him at plus 210. It's not a big bet, but we're here for the long run, trying to grind out a profit.
Exactly.
I talked about Berger. Again, this isn't a very long odds, but it's plus 110. I've got him on top 20. He grades out 4th. He's 5th in strokes gained off total. And then he's 1st in the birdie to bogey ratio. So I know, course history here is good. And then just liked him in the different metrics and felt that there was some value there at plus 110. And then the last one that I've got, again, it's a little bit of longer odds, is Hahn at plus 270 for top 40. So he grades out around 32nd. And so at that price, at the plus 270, I believe that's, let's see, can give you the implied odds there on that. So that at plus 270 there, that's a 27% implied odds at that price, which I felt was much too low given everything I was looking at. So yeah, James Hahn plus 270. And again, I've got a half unit on him to win 1.35. So then I do have several other top 20. I've got a top 10 bet, which I'll talk about that one real quick. It's Sabatini, which I know he's not, he's been around for a while and he hasn't won in a while, but I got him on top 10 at plus 1,000. His average finish here is 13.3. He was sixth in 2019. So a little bit of course history there, even though he's not playing all that well. Felt there was some pretty good value there at plus 1,000 for a top 10.
Yeah, and I mean, you're way more into the numbers than I am, and that's what makes it fun because you're like really big into the numbers, and I'm more into. I mean, we each have our own process of looking at these, so that's why we're able to mesh well. I still have Sabatini, but I don't have him as a top 10. I have him at top 20, top 40 for that similar reasons. He's not playing well, but he likes his track, and his course history is good. And there's some times where you want to look at course history, and there's times where it doesn't. A couple more that I like. Peter Uline, I talked about him to win. I believe over at DK they had him plus 275 for a top 40, which FanDuel had him at plus 145. So huge misprice there. So I took that for 0.8 to win 2.2. He's got top, what is it? Top 15s in the last two starts here. So he obviously course history comes into play there. And then a couple more that I will go over. Again, on the Zalatoris train, I got him top 20. He's plus 120. So I have a unit on that. I mean, he's got second most top 20 finishes on tour this year. So how he's plus 120, I mean, it's not a huge advantage, but I think it is in that aspect when he's second most to Corey Connors in top 20s this year. So like him to finish top 20. And then we'll just leave you with one more is I talked about him to win. Harry Higgs, top 40. He's plus 175. Have a unit to win 1.75 there. I just think that maybe he's hitting stride right now with he played well at the PGA, and the big rig is going to finish inside the top 40 as Scott Van Pelt would call him. So, everything else we have more over there. You guys can check it out on our Twitter. We're starting a Discord. It's just as we gain some steam, we'll be in there, especially during football season, firing live plays and all that good stuff. But for PGA, we'll update the Twitter account when we have new plays, and hope you guys like this video. Hope you guys like the last one. We're going to try to do this a Tuesday weekly show to go over PGA, and then obviously when it transitions to football season, we'll figure that out. So yeah. Anything else you want to leave them with before we sign off?
Yeah, it feels like, I don't know, just from a feel perspective, feels like a week that a young guy is going to get a win. I don't know. And maybe it's because we just watched the 50-year-old just absolutely annihilate the field. I don't know. It feel maybe it's Zalatoris's week. I don't know, or Higgs. I don't know. It feels like a week that some young guy is going to get a win.
All I know is when Zalatoris wins, I mean, I'll have a ticket on it. I think that's my strategy going forward. I mean, the problem is the more he plays well, the more it gets down into the JT answer where it's, speed where then I'm getting 15 to 1,
Right.
But, it's gonna get there. So
right.
We'll see. He'll win. It's only a matter of time. So all right, well until next week, and we'll be tweeting out plays, and make sure to follow baseball. I've been
crushing it.
Pretty red hot on baseball. So somehow they like to wait till the ninth inning that they hit it.
We'll take it.
Yep. So all right, man. We'll see you next week.